Hello boys and girls, good afternoon and welcome to Critical English for grade 7 to 8. Today we're going to be looking at how are you guys doing today? Keila, how are you?
Good.
Good. What about Jacoby?
I'm good.
You're good. And what about Shamar?
I'm good.
So it looks like it's just the four of us on board today. Yes? So today we're going to be doing something interesting. Now, what do you see here? Have you ever seen this before? Yeah? Where?
Maths.
Math? So what did you do? Use this to do for math?
Number line.
Number line? What does the number line tell you?
The directions of the numbers.
Direction. So what do you usually have here?
Zero.
0. So we have 0 here. So if we're going to the left, what does that mean?
Negative.
Negative and positive. So today we're going to use the same concept to understand what we're doing. So let's say, for instance, so if we're going to the left, and the paper went its own way. So if we're going to the left, which direction would you say we're going? Front or back?
Back.
Back. All right. And if we're going to the front, like to the right, sorry, you'd say we're going where?
Front.
Front. And let's put the concept of time in this, right? So let's say we have time. Can you see? Yeah. So let's say we have time. If we go back in time, what would you call that? Going back into the
Pass.
past. All right. So we have past here. And what about when we stand here? 0.
Present.
Present. Right now. So we have the present. And what about when we go forward? Like into the future, yes. So today we're looking at verb, tense, and we're going to examine 3 tense of the verb. We're going to look at the past, we're going to look at the present, we're going to look at the future. Now, when you see the information, it may look a little bit difficult. Well, what we're doing, this lesson is an introductory lesson. What kind of lesson?
Introduction.
It's an introductory lesson. So in this lesson, we're going to meet the definition of the past tense and the various forms of the past tense. We're going to look at the structure of them, and then we're going to look at a few examples, and then we're going to try an exercise. All right? So while it looks in, because you're looking at them on your worksheets, yes? And it looks a little confusing, right? Yeah, it looks a little tough, but it's going to be easy, and you're going to see how easy I will try to make it for you. Remember, if you have questions, be sure to ask your questions, all right? Because you're representing those who cannot ask questions for themselves. So we're going to go to the slide, and the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at the past tense. Now, when we look at the past tense, there are 4 ways in which the past tense can work. All right? So the first way in which it can work is the simple past. All right? And who wants to read? Anybody wants to read for us? Jacoby? No? Jacoby doesn't want to read? What about you, Akila? No? Shamar? Yes.
The simple, the definition.
Yes, the definition.
This tense is used to describe an action that has already happened.
So in the simple tense, it says it is used to do what? An action that has already happened. Right? It's the simple past tense. So when we look at the structure of that,
Unknown caller.
when we look at so you see what happens when we're in school? What is the Ministry of Regulation? Let me check mine and ensure that it's on vibrate too, so that it doesn't go off like Jacoby's.
Sorry.
That's all right. Good. So when we look at the structure of the simple past tense, we are saying that it is the subject plus the verb in the past form. All right? And let's look at the example. I walked to work today. I walked to work today. I is the subject. We have the verb walk, and the past tense, the simple past tense is walked, right? With an ed. In the next lesson, we're going to look at how we go about forming these past tense. All right? We're not looking at that today. Then the next tense we want to look at is the perfect tense. What do you think this could probably mean? Perfect tense. When we say something is perfect, what do you think it means?
Nothing can happen to it.
Nothing is wrong with it. But let's see if that is what it means when we're looking at the past perfect tense. The definition says, this tense is used to describe an action that was finished before another past action. And in order to form this, or the structure of the perfect past tense, we have the subject plus had plus the verb past participle. Let's look at our example. I had walked to work because the bus had left already. So I had walked, right? And I had to do that because what? The bus had left already. An action, what is it? An action that finished before another past action. All right? So all of these actions, they are occurring when? In the present? No, they are occurring in the past. So we're reflecting on things that were done in the past. So we understand the simple and the perfect so far?
Yes.
And how we form them? All right, let's look at a little bit. And the thing about these is that as you move from one column to another, it becomes a little bit more complex. All right? But when we learn these, it helps to add to our writing. All right? So let's look at the continuous. This tense is used to describe a past action that was going on. The action may have been interrupted, or another action also occurred. All right? And when we're looking at how the structure of this, we have the subject plus was or were plus the verb ending in ing. Example, I was walking home when my mom called. I was walking home. So we see the use of the subject. We have the subject I. We have the verb, they was or were. And in this case, of course, because we're saying I, it would be was. And the verb ending in ing, walking. The continuous, one of the things that you'll notice throughout is that the verbs in the continuous form ends with ing. All right? Kila? Okay. And then we go to the perfect continuous. The past perfect continuous, sorry. This tense is used to describe an action that started in the past and continued till another action or time in the past. And in order, when we look at the structure of this, we're seeing subject plus had been plus verb ending in ing. I had been walking all day so I could get home. We understand that? Yes? Akila, you sure? You have some questions? Ask your questions, you know. Alright? Alright, so it's sort of simple, yeah? Sort of simple. It's not as difficult as Miss tried to make it seem. So let's see if you understood what you needed to learn. Let's see how much you would have learned from the little discourse. So I have an exercise here. The exercise to do what? Underline the verb tense. They're in your worksheet. Underline the verb tense in each of the following sentences. And then state what type of verb tense you underline. So you're underlining the verb tense And then you're going to state whether the verb tense is what? Whether it is, what are the four verb tenses we looked at? Simple, perfect, continuous, and perfect continuous. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I'm going to give you 1 minute for each, 30 seconds for each question. So the 2 minutes will give you the 4 done. So you're underlining the verb, and then you're going to state whether it is simple, whether it is perfect, whether or it's continuous, or it's in the perfect continuous past tense. All right? All right.
So if it's simple, perfect, yes?
Yes. So you can use the abbreviations, but remember, if you're going to say, like for instance, the perfect continuous, because you have perfect, and then you have perfect continuous, you have continuous, and then you have the perfect continuous. Sorry. Yeah. So try not to mix up the two. Remember, you're only underlining the verb, right, Akila? Not the subject, just the verb, and then we'll say what kind of verb it is. Let me not walk in front of the camera. And remember, you have your notes to the top that you can refer to, yes?
Yes.
To help give you some guidance if you need some more. Look at them carefully, Akila. Number 2. We have been, remember we spoke about helping verb and main verb and so, the last session. So, remember, when we're looking at the verb, we got to make sure that it constitutes a certain, we have to look at also the structure. So if we're going to say it's a continuous verb, then we have to look to ensure that whatever we're saying constitutes the continuous verb. So the continuous the structure, for the continuous would be what? The subject plus was or were plus the verb ending in ing. Alright, so let's see what you folks did. Are we done, Akila? Just need a second to wrap up. You're done, Jacoby? Let me see what Jacoby did. You sure? Let's look at, what about question 2? Alright, so because there are 4 sentences, it means that each will represent one type of the form of the past tense, yes? One tense, sorry, the past tense. Alright, so let's go. Let's see what you did. Let's hear from, who wants to go first? Nobody wants to go first, so I'll call Shamar. Shamar, stick his finger up. Yes, Shamar, let's hear from you. Number 1, what do you have?
She arrived late to school. I have arrived as simple past tense.
Arrived as the verb, yes, and it's a simple past tense because we just have the subject plus the
Subject
plus the verb in the past form, and the verb in the past form in this sentence is arrive. Number 2.
Is market.
Yes, once you have it correct, mark it. Well, I have my stickers, not to worry. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Welcome. How are you? Have a
Yes.
seat. We've missed you. We almost thought you abandoned us. Alright, so we're at number 2. We have been looking for my phone for an hour when Jasmine found it under the sofa. Akila, what do you have as the verb? The verb tense, yeah.
For the verb tense, I have had been,
Had been,
and the answer is perfect.
The perfect had been. So in the verb, in the perfect, we would have the subject plus had plus the verb past participle. Do we have a past participle there? No, we have a. So one of the trick, remember I was telling you about the trick? The trick about the continuous, because it's the perfect continuous. We had been looking. Had been looking. So let's go with that. We have the subject plus had been plus the verb ending. So had been and the verb ending there, looking. Follow? Yeah? The understanding is a little bit better now? Okay, because I have a surprise for you folks just now. And then, so that one is the perfect continuous, the past perfect continuous. Did anybody get that one right? Shamar got it right. Congratulations, Shamar. And number 3, we were walking home when my mom called. What do you have, Jacoby?
For the verb, I have when.
Pardon?
For the verb,
Mhm.
I have when.
When? When? Is that an action? So remember, verbs are what? Actions. Action words, and we talk about what type of, some verbs are action verbs. We also looked at linking verb and helping verb and so, right? So we're looking at the verb. Anyone else wants to go to help Jacoby? Yes, Shmar, go ahead.
As I had, we're walking.
We're walking, yes, correct. And what tense would that be?
Past continuous.
Past continuous? Yes, correct. Past continuous. Was walking. Were walking, sorry. And final one, he had visited China. Anyone? What do you have, Kila?
I have perfect that.
Perfect. The perfect past tense. Past perfect, sorry. And what do you have as the verb?
Had visited.
Had visited. That's correct. All right. So if you got 4 out of 4, that's so good. Super.
Miss.
Yes. So
Yes.
Jacoby, you're having some trouble. I see.
Miss, I only put had. Did it on and then put it.
Yes. So remember, when we look at the verb, we said the perfect. We must have had plus verb past participle. So there is something else missing.
Yeah.
Had is also a helping verb. Remember we did that last week? So we have the main verb, had been. When these two come together, they give you the perfect past tense. So you'd have had plus the verb participle, which is visited. Okay? Everybody? Akila, you got that one right? Lakshmi, welcome. Lakshmi like Columbus to the West Indies, sailing, because she came in and missed the introduction. But that's okay, Lakshmi. We're gonna catch on. Alright? So we're looking at the present tense now. We're looking at the present tense. So we looked at the past tense and we sort of had a little bit an issue somewhere along the line. But we sort of got it cleared up. Yes? Everybody is clear now? Akila? Don't say yes because Mrs. sort of prompting you to say yes. So we can get on with the lesson. Are you doing that, Akila? No. Saying yes because you understand. Alright, good. So we're looking at the present, and again, we are seeing 4 columns, yes? We're seeing the same thing because we're seeing the actions can also occur in the present, in the simple, right? Perfect, continuous, or the present perfect continuous. Yes? And let's talk about how they occur there. Alright? So for the simple, it says, this tense is used to describe an action, habit, or facts that are generally true and occur in the present time. So remember we looked at here, so the present tense deal with now, in this moment. Alright? Example, the structure, subject plus verb plus plus verb in the present form. So in the present form, when we look at the present form and we look at the word, it's the verb in its natural form. So we don't add anything to the verb. Alright? Example, I walk to work every morning. This is something the definition says what? Habit. So this is habitual. Every day we go to school, isn't that so? Sometimes even when we don't want to go to school, right? There are days I don't want to go to school either. But I walk to work every morning. This is something that is happening habitually, right? So it constitutes the simple present tense. All right? And then we move on to the perfect, the present perfect. And in the present perfect, this tense is used to describe an action that has taken place once or many times before. Structure. Jacoby, you're paying attention to me, and as the words roll off my lip, I want you to focus on the information in front of you. Yes? Good. So, the structure of the present perfect tense would be the subject plus have or has, and that is dependent on whether the subject is singular or plural, and then plus verb in the past form. For example, I have walked to work every day. Do you have day in your stuff? No, it should be every day. My bad. So just write in day there. I have walked to work every day. So this perfect have walked. All right? And it's interesting because usually we don't have anyway, I'm not going to go into that. That is for when we come to deal with it in detail, to see how we form it and go into more details with it. Like I said, this is an introductory lesson. All right? So I can tickle your brains and make you think, and when you go home you say, oh wow, I have so much more to do before I get ready for CXC. Yes? Good. So do we understand what's happening there? I have walked to work every day. We have the subject plus have or has plus the verb in the past tense. Alright? We clear? And this happens when we use this to describe an action that has taken place once, or in this case, right, every day. It's happening repeatedly, many times before. All right? Then we want to move to the continuous. This tense is used to describe an action that is going on when? Now. All right? I am walking to work. And again, we see, what do we see here? The continuous ending in ing. So that's a little trick for you to look at. Am walking. Am walking. So you notice, what have you noticed? So far we're looking at one verb. What is the verb that we're looking at?
Walking.
walk. The verb is walk. And we can use walk in so many different ways. All right? We can use it in the past tense, in the 4 forms or the 4 tenses in the past tense. We can also use it in the present tense. All right? And when we come to the future tense just now, we're going to see how we can use the very word, the very action, the very verb in another way. So we're looking basically at how to use one verb in many different forms. All right? Good. Then we talk about the final one, the present perfect continuous. This tense is used to describe an experience or an action that started in the past and is still continuing till the present moment. And in order to form this, we use the subject plus has or have been, right? So that's the indicator, plus the verb ending in ing. Let's look at the example. I have been walking for 3 hours now. I have been walking for 3 hours now. All right? So let's see how much you have learned and understood. We go back to the practice table and see how much we have learned, and let's strive to see if we can get 4. Instructions are: underline the verb tense in each of the following sentences. State what type of verb tense you underlined. All right? And again, 2 minutes. So we're striving for... Oh, Lakshmi. Now Lakshmi wants to put me to shame. We have an extra pencil. Did we get the pencil sharpened?
Yes.
So Jacoby has that pencil. Alright, let me see. I have a pen. I have a pen somewhere in this jungle. Not to worry. Teachers always have a whole lot of accoutrements. Alright. Good, Lakshmi. See, you're in luck. Here you go.
Thank you.
Welcome. So remember to use your table. Remember you have all of the information in front of you. Use your table to help you guide in, to sort of be your guide. So when you say past continuous, because I assume that that's the past continuous, right? Is there anything else left out? Do you see any other verb there? So where would you put that? And it's also, remember, here is saying that it describes an experience or an action that started in the past and is still continuing till the present moment. So they have been living in the house since 1999, but they're still living there. But this action started since 1999, but it's still continuing to the present moment because the sentence did not say that they have moved out. So where do we go? The whole sentence, Shamar.
That's up to living.
Yeah. Because that would be the verb. Let's see what Jacoby is doing. I think I'm gonna adopt Jacoby to be my new favorite child. What do y'all think? Alright, Jacoby, so what do we have? Alright. Anna visits the town. The town is this verb. The town?
Yes, yes.
The town is what? If you were to identify it, what would you say the town is? Anna visits the town.
The town.
So you can't underline the town. So you gotta take that out. Right. And remember, you're looking here to ensure you capture everything in terms of verb. So after the subject, you're looking for what comes after the subject and ensure that whatever comes after the subject is the verb. Alright? Let's see what Lakshmi is doing. Yeah. Alright, so let's stop there and then we're going to make corrections if we need to. Yes, because we want to move on to the next exercise. And then we have a game I would like for us to really get to. Yes? Good. So let's look at it. And this is sort of going to help you with the game. So once you're paying attention here, you're going to score some really big points in the game. All right, so let's go on. Who wants to go? Let's try to go quickly together. They have been living in the same house since 1999. What is the verb in the sentence?
Have been living.
Have been living. Why?
Because
What do you have? What verb tense do you have? Sorry.
Present perfect continuous.
Present perfect continuous. And the present perfect continuous tells us that an experience or an action that has started in the past and is still continuing in the present moment. The sentence says what? They have been living in the same house since 1999. They started living in the house since 1999, right? And that's in the past. But they're still living there. They're continuing to live there. Following? So it started happening and it continued into the present moment. All right? And when we look at the verb, we have what? Have or has been plus the verb ending in ing. We're seeing that?
Yes.
Good. Moving on quickly. This one is easy and nobody should get this one wrong. Anna visits the town center every weekend. Shout to the answer.
Visit.
Yes, visits. What tense?
Simple.
Simple tense, yes. The simple present tense. Number 3, they have traveled to China twice. What do you have, Jacoby? Travel. Have traveled, yes. Correct. What tense? Perfect job. One word. And final one. I am studying for my exam.
I'm studying.
I'm studying, yes. And we only have one left. So that one should have been easy. Yes? Continuous. The present continuous. So we're getting an idea of how these things work. Yes?
Yes.
And with more practice and some more exercise, we can master the art of the the past tense and the present tense as we move on to the future tense. All right? Good. So we've come to the future tense and we're moving nicely with time and we want to get through this. Let's see how fast we can get through this. And then we can try to do some stuff. All right, good. So this one, the future simple tense or the simple future tense is a little bit trickier than the others. So we notice in the past and in the present there was only one way to form or one structure that those form. Yes? However, when we're looking here, we see that there are 3 ways in which we can form the simple present tense. So it has 3 structures. My bad. The first structure says the subject plus am, is, or are plus going to plus the verb. Example, I am going to the shop. I am going to the shop. We have am going, right, to the shop. Good. Next example, we have the next structure, subject plus am, is, or are, the verb ending in ing. We are having dinner at the restaurant tomorrow. Now, the future, one of the indicator of the future is always what we are going to do. I am going to something, an action that will happen in the future. It has not occurred as yet. And then the final one, subject plus will or shall plus the verb. We will walk, to the market on Wednesday, and we see the verb walk again here. Yes? The verb walk comes back here. The perfect tense, the perfect future tense, it says this tense is used to describe an action that will be completed before a specific time. So while this is an action that will happen in the future, there is a specific time assigned to when this action will be completed. Example, I will have walked to work every day this year. And we look at the subject, the structure, we see that it has a subject plus will have plus verb in the past tense. I will have walked to work every day this year. All right, a specific time. Then we look at the, am I going too fast or are we good? We good? We sure? All right, continuous. This tense is used to describe an action that will occur and will continue to occur for a set period of time in the future. The structure is subject plus will be plus the verb ending in ing, and we notice all of the continuous ending in what? ing. Good. I will be walking tomorrow at 8 a.m. And the final one we're looking at. This tense is used to describe an action that will continue up until point in the future. So the structure is subject plus will have been plus the verb ending in ing because it is continuous. All right? I will have been walking for 3 hours before I arrived home. Sorry. All right, so let's go to the exercise and let's see how much we would have understood. And then, so I'm going to give you 2 minutes and then we want to go quickly to what I have in store for you. And I am so happy that Lashmi came so she can be on Jacoby's team. Yes? Or you want to pick your teammates? That's okay?
Yeah.
Kayla, you're good. We're working with Shamar. Yes. All right, good. So 2 minutes. Let's try to wrap up in 2 minutes. So remember, you have to align the entire feed. All right, good. So let's try to get through quickly. What do we have? The first one says, I am starting my English course next week. Verb,
Started.
something is missing.
Simple.
I'm starting. Which one of the verb tense?
Simple.
Simple, correct. Moving on to, she will be moving to the house next month.
Will be moving.
Will be moving, yes.
Continuous.
Continuous, yes. They will have arrived in China, by now.
Will have.
Will have, something missing.
Right.
Arrived.
Arrived.
Will have arrived. And where would we? What structure is that following? The perfect. Thank you, Jacoby. And finally, they will have been very tired from traveling for 5 hours.
Traveling. From.
So we're looking for the structure. It says the subject. So we have the subject.
They
And we
will,
look.
will have been very tired.
Will have been very tired. Correct. Will have been plus very tired. Right? That's the verb. And that will be the perfect continuous tense. All right. Good. So mark how much you got out of 4. I'm going to give you some extra worksheets so you can work at home. All right, so let's move on to the game that I have in store for you folks. All right, so let's see how much of it we can get through. So it's called Jeopardy, and it should be coming up on the screen anytime now. Yeah. Still not seeing it on the screen. Let's go to the instruction and the game. The instruction says the class will be divided into 2 teams, and each team will have an opportunity to play as a team. However, only one member for the group will be allowed to answer. So you can sort of discuss, if your course you're discussing in less than 30 seconds, right? So you want to sit closer to Shamar, Alia, or you're good? You can whisper. Akila.
Come. I don't want to do the game.
You don't want to play with Jacoby? Why not? Something is showing us power off in 21 seconds. Perhaps we need to get the technical team in here. 11, 9, let's do the countdown. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yes. And we are good to go. Good. So let's try to work with what we have. Yes, Lakshmi? Good. So we're being nice, Jacoby. Jacoby, why doesn't she want to play with you? All right. Good. So here is how we're going to play Jeopardy. Has anyone played Jeopardy before? No? All right. Well, there's always a first time. So we've just looked at, and you have your worksheets in front of you, so you can utilize them. All right? Good. So, of course, you divided already into 2 teams. One person, while you can communicate and share answers, only one person can respond. All right? So if you know the answer and you want to respond, you can go ahead. All right? So you'll be given 30 seconds to provide an answer. If you can't answer the question, it automatically goes to the other team for a steal. All right? Good. So what is going to happen? So we have the options on the board. So this will be team 1 and this will be team 2. Team 1, you're playing from past tense, present tense, and future tense 1. Team 2, you're playing from present tense. No, Keela and Shamar, team 1. Lakshmi and Jacoby, team 2. And you're playing from past tense, present tense, and future tense 2. So what you do is that you select and you say, okay, we're going to go for present tense at 400. And then the question comes up. And then we see what the question is. and you answer. And if you, of course, if you get it right, you get 200 points.
So you
All right?
have to choose like
So you,
10.
the trick in the question, the trick in the game, all of the questions are knowledge questions, mean that you have done them before, and you're basically identifying the verb tense in the sentence. So for 200 to 800, all of the 1,000 are what we call application questions. So if you want to go for a large sum, it's more than just what you're doing for 200, 400, 600 and 800. Okay? So you can start out by going for 1,000. It's just going to be a little bit more difficult. Yeah? All right, so let's go. So team 1, what are you going for? And I'm taking score. A, B. Yes, Akila and Shamar.
Present 200.
Present 200. Identify the simple present tense in the sentence below. Anna visits the town center every weekend. Visits, correct, for 200. Back to the... Okay. So this is going to be a little tricky for me. Let me see if I can. Okay. Now. Okay. Hold on. So we are done. Alright, sure. I'm not sure why it's not giving me the option to the game. So we have present tense for 200. Anyone? So Lakshmi and team, let's hear you. Up. We're not seeing it on the board, sir. Technical room. So what are you going for, Lakshmi?
Present tense.
Present tense, yes. One in present tense.
200.
200. Question. Identify the simple present tense in the sentence below. She works as a teacher assistant in the school. She works as a teaching assistant in the school.
The bottom one. Mr. Jacobi.
Yes. Tick, 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 tick.
Worked.
Works. Correct. For 200.
I didn't see that.
It says Basicano. Pardon?
Miss, I couldn't see.
You can't see? So you do you
She was blocking me.
she's blocking you. Alright, so let's see. Do you want to come on this side of the room, Jacoby, so you can see properly?
Next time I want to bend like that.
Alright, so we're back at Akila and Shamar. What are we going for?
Past tense 200.
Past tense 200. Identify the simple past tense in the sentence. She arrived late to school.
Arrived.
Arrived. Perfect. So they get 200 more. So they're at 400. Back to panel. Okay, what are we going for?
Present tense.
Present tense.
800.
800. Lakshmi is going big. Identify the present perfect continuous tense in the sentence below.
Has been
Present.
raining.
Pardon?
Has been raining.
Has been raining for 800. So they're going big. So they are now at 1,000 to 400. Are we going to up our score? What are we going to do? How are we going to respond? Yes?
Present 800.
Present 800. Akila. Hold on. Oh no. I did something there. Present 800. Yes? Identify the past perfect continuous tense in the sentence below.
Been looking.
Had been looking for 800. So now they have moved ahead again. They're at 1,200 now. Alright, how are we going to respond, Lakshmi and Jacoby?
Present tense.
Yes?
400.
Present tense 400. Identify the present perfect tense in the sentence below.
Miss has work.
Has work, correct, for 400. Alright, moving on to back to Akila and Shamar. What are they going to go with?
Past tense 600.
Past tense 600. Question says identify the past continuous tense in the sentence below. We were walking home when my mom called.
We're walking.
We're walking for 600. So they are going ahead, and we are back to Lakshmi and
Present tense.
present tense
600.
600. Identify the present continuous tense in the sentence below. She is eating her lunch.
Eating.
One try. One more try. One more attempt. Look carefully. Present continuous. Eating. Something is missing.
Eating her lunch.
No. Ding ding ding. Error. And it goes to Akila and Shamar.
Is eating.
Is eating for 600. So they get 600 bonus points, and then they get to play again. Alright, so what are we going for this time?
Present tense 800.
Present tense 800. They're going big. Identify the perfect present continuous tense in the sentence below. They have been living in the same house since 1999.
Have been listening.
Have been living for 800. Alright, so Jacoby and Lakshmi, how are you going to respond?
Present tense 800.
Present tense 800. 800 is gone for present tense.
Yeah.
You've exhausted that. Where do you want to go?
600.
For what?
Present tense.
Gone. So present tense is gone.
Past tense.
Present tense, past tense 600 or 800?
600.
600. So they're gonna go with 600. And stop working. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Yes. Identify the past continuous tense in the sentence below. He was waiting an hour when the bus finally arrived.
Was waiting.
Was waiting for 600, and they are responding. And let's go back to Akila and Shamar. We have just a couple more minutes, and then we're going to see where the game is going. Akila and Shamar.
Present tense 600.
Present. What am I doing? I give you all present tense 600. Yeah. No, you don't have present tense. You have past tense for 600. Identify the simple past tense in the sentence.
Alright.
Arrived for 600. Alright.
200 miss.
200.
Oh, for 200. Sorry. 200. I want to give you all more points. Alright. And we're going to go one more round or two more rounds. Alright. One more round. One more round. Sorry. So now would be a good time for championing for them. Now would be a good time to see like 1,000 to sort of settle the score. What do you think? 1,000 in the present tense?
Yes, miss.
1,000 in present tense. Let's see. Write a sentence that shows present continuous tense. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. Quickly. Remember, I told you the thousands application. Write a sentence that shows the present continuous tense. Now you can't give me the sentence that I gave you earlier, right? And we're going, and we're gonna give them 30 seconds. And how are they going to make the 30 seconds to score 1,000 points? Let me hear what you have, Lakshmi.
Miss, I am eating my lunch.
I am eating my lunch. I'm eating. Is that correct? That is correct for 1,000. So we are going to stop there. We're going to tally the score. So we have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 for Team B. 8 and 6 is 4. Okay, so 6 and 6 is 12. And this is 2, 28. 28 and 2 is 3. 32. 3,400. So Team A wins the crown of Jeopardy. Congratulations to both team. Did you enjoy the game?
Yes, miss.
So I'm going to put the game available. I'm going to make the game available so you can play in your own spare time. All right, and then you can tell me how much points did you get on one try. All right, good. So today we've looked at verbs and we've looked at an introductory lesson, and we said that we looked at how verbs occur in the past and in the present and in the future. And we looked at them occurring in the simple, perfect, continuous, and the perfect continuous in the 3 verb tenses. All right? I know it was quite a lot today. It was a whole mouthful, but I know that the game sort of made it easier. Yes?
Yes.
So what does that tell us? It tells us that in life, even though sometimes things may seem difficult, we've got to find fun ways to make it lasting and memorable. So the Jeopardy is going to be available for you, for those in Radioland. The viewing public will try to see how we can make it available for you too, so that you can practice at home. And that is all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in. I trust you have a good evening. And for those in the viewing public, thank you for joining us, and we will see you on our next lesson. Good afternoon, and enjoy your evening.